What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast. We're talking about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? Welcome to Friday's episode. So if you want to talk about or listen to cyber stuff, definitely tune in for Monday, where we talk about the Reddit hack that was confirmed. Tuesday, we talk about how 2 California cities were susceptible to ransomware, or what we believe to be ransomware. It brought them down to just radios for their first responders. And then on Wednesday's discussion, we talk about Russia's cyber attacks against Ukraine and how those have started to decline, so to speak, and kind of go into detail about how that all works out. So definitely go back and listen to those episodes. We appreciate you listening to the podcast and leave your feedback. Shout outs to Mike Ware. And oh man, it was another gentleman was leaving comments. I think it was Nathaniel or Nathan. I cannot remember, but shout out to you for leaving feedback and comments on our page as well. Greatly appreciate those on YouTube. Remember, you can listen to us like on a bunch of different platforms, but if you want to see our beautiful faces, you need to go to Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, and LinkedIn. So we got 4 places the video now pops up. So definitely tune in for all that good stuff. So like I said, this episode's everything else non-cyber related. So we'll talk about the full gamut. But first off, I gotta ask you, Shannon, before I ask you how your week was, the intro, do I need to change it? We're like episode 316 or so. Is it serving its purpose? Does anybody like the intro? Because I know a couple people who don't like the intro.
I don't mind it though. Like I don't mind it. I don't know. I mean, maybe because I'm used to it though. I would say no. My vote is no. Keep it,
because now I remember it. It's just because it rolls right off. It's automatic memory. But like I heard it's boring or it doesn't really serve a purpose. Because some people just jump right into it. They just start talking.
Nah, I don't know about that, man. Like, if you wanna, I say keep it. But I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Go what the fans say, right? There are people saying, no, we don't like it. Let's change it up.
Right.
Change it up. Right? It's like seasons of TV shows, right? Like the intro changes after a little while, right?
That's true.
Martin did it too, right? So
yeah.
You the new Martin, change it up. You the new Martin.
Yeah. Am I gonna be that famous? Bad Boys 16 over here?
As long as you ain't run around on the interstate naked and whatnot, you'll be good.
Right. Wasn't he in a trash bag? Because he was trying to lose weight for a role?
Trying to lose weight, yeah. And he just heat stroke.
Too much. Crazy. Yeah, heat stroke took him out. But okay, I'll put that in consideration. I'm thinking about it. But if you guys want to leave feedback, please do so. Let us know if we need to change the intro up. Because I'm on the fence. So there's that. But without further ado, how's your week?
Man, no complaints. Didn't take in a lot of media again. I just haven't been watching a lot of stuff. I watched a few things. So I did watch on HBO Max, Battle of the Super Sons is what it is.
Okay. Yeah. How was that?
It was okay. I've seen Warner Brothers Animation do better. It was all right, but I don't mind it. I didn't mind it.
So which Robin is that? Is that Damien?
That's Damien.
Nobody likes Damien.
And it shows, right? And they portray him as such, right? Like they portray him like the jerk that he is, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's how it all comes about, right?
He's like, because I'm an assassin. Like, I'm out here trying to solve crimes.
Hey, you know who raised me?
Right. I'm a trained assassin out here.
Yeah, you know what I could do? But it's them when they're young though, like 10 or something like that. Okay. Let me not say 10, maybe like 12, 13. But yeah, it's him and Jonathan Kent, right? So
gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, it's not bad. I've seen them do better with some of the other Warner Brothers animation. It's not as dark as some of the other stuff that they've done for Warner Brothers animation.
Okay.
So, yeah, the dark stuff they do, I'm like, yeah, I'm down for this.
Right. So how does that? I got beef with Superman again. So you said Jonathan Kent. I don't know enough about him. Does he have his powers off the bat, or does he have to like?
He does not.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna say, how does that work in utero? Like one kick, Low is gone. You know what I mean?
He does not. Yeah.
Okay.
And that comes up in the movie, right? Like when you watch the movie, that kind of comes about. Where So
Okay. So I get done with that. Okay. You get a pass, Jonathan Kent.
remember he's half human, right? So
Right.
he's not fully Kryptonian. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wouldn't that make him even stronger though? Like
what?
he never been exposed to the red sun. This just
So
the yellow sun.
it would make his vulnerability. It would make his vulnerabilities different. I will tell you that.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, because he the chunk of Krypton
Right, kryptonite.
might not affect him. But I thought it was the whole thing with the sun is what Superman gets
The yellow sun
his
gives him the
power.
power. The red sun
Yeah,
suppresses him. Right. So
right.
yeah.
I can check it out.
But he lives on
It's
a
fun.
planet with the yellow sun, right?
Yeah, I
So
would say he should be OP. Like he should just be every time he walks around causes an earthquake.
no, it's not exactly like that. It's not like that
Okay.
at all, I'll say. But yeah, again, he's half human, right? So it's one of those things where it's like with Invincible, right? Mark
Yeah,
was Mark,
yeah, it
right?
was
Like,
Mark. Yeah,
yeah, was
yeah.
kind
It
of the
took him
same
a
way.
little bit. He had to grow
Yeah,
into it. Yeah,
yep,
where he became a Vitramite.
yeah. So kind of it's the same premise here.
Okay.
But it all comes to play in the movie. And you know, the Warner Brothers ones are like an hour 19, hour 20.
Yeah.
So it's not even a lot of your time to get into it, right? But again, it was not as dark as some of the other ones. The where when they have the dark ones, I'm like, yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
it's like these DC animation is way better than DC movies for now. We'll see what James Gunn does, right? And James Gunn, we trust that he will fix it. But it sounds even more convoluted than before.
Yeah,
He's like, this is my stuff, and this is all the other stuff.
yeah, and I'm like, I think he's burning it down just to burn it down. Let me not say burn it down. He's wiping the slate just to wipe the slate. Like I think there have been some good properties lately that they could expound upon, but he's just like, no, I want
Yeah,
to do thing. You know what I mean? And that could lead to disaster, right? Like I want to put my stamp on it. And it's like you can build off something that was already good. You know what I mean? You don't have to say, no,
right,
it's not what I did. And it could be just he doesn't want to have to hear, oh, well, you just came in and you were the caretaker for something. You know what I mean? That was
right. That, and I'm sure he has a 10-year plan, right? They all have 10-year plans. So
yeah.
people are going to age out of these roles. Like Henry Cavill is going to be old man Superman 10 years from now.
So I read an article where they Bautista tried to get Bane and they told him no because he's already he'll be too old to continue down that path because he's in his 50s, which he looks good for his 50s, right? Bautista does, but yeah, he's already 52 or 54 or something like that. And he approached them like, hey, I want to do Bane. This is what I want to do, right? And they were like, no, they were like, for the plan that we have, like you will not be able to do this in 10 years, 12 years.
Right. Which he loves acquiring roles. Like he's like an actor for real. Like he's just like, I want to do these things because even like he wants to do the serious stuff and he wants to do the character driven, I guess you would say, stuff because he wants to do Gears of War, which obviously he'd be spot on for the role, right? But yeah, again,
who's he gonna be? Is he gonna be Dom or is he gonna be what's his name?
I think he said I think he was shooting for Marcus, but like he'll take anything. Like he's built like a cog, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Soldier. So he's like, hey, I fit in that universe.
And
Literally.
he doesn't have to take his shirt off because that's his big thing now, right? Like I can't stay in the shape I need to be in to keep my shirt off, but like he's still a big guy, right? So
Yeah.
have all that gear on, a vest and all that. And,
chest high walls everywhere. Because that's just how it works in that universe. Like, why do they build everything chest high?
You got to be able to duck down, man. That's what it is.
It's wild out there. It's wild out there. But I hope they do bring him in for it, only because like I don't want to see more stuff in that universe. I want them to just bring Gears of War back. Like it just fell off the map for the time being.
So here's my question: because that was a Microsoft exclusive, that game, right?
Yeah.
So does Microsoft make live action movies like that?
They're getting there now, right? So like they have Halo kicked off. They have Quantum Break. Quantum Break was both a TV series and a video game, like hybrid. So they're trying to get to adapting their IP.
Right.
And they're going to have to because Sony is killing it right now, right? Like Sony has the Last of Us. Before the Last of Us, they had Uncharted. They brought to the big screen, which I thought was actually pretty good. And then they have a God of War, and they have a Horizon project coming up in the near future.
But Sony has had a movie studio for a few years now, though, right?
Right.
So Microsoft was not in that game, and even with Halo, I thought that was Amazon. That wasn't Amazon Studios that did that. That was
Um,
actually Microsoft Studios that did that for the TV series?
I don't know, honestly, because it debuted on Showtime, right?
No, it was on Amazon Prime, wasn't it?
Where did I watch it at? I thought I watched it on, no, I watched it on a different platform. I didn't watch it on Amazon.
For Halo.
Yeah, for Halo. I thought Halo was Showtime or Peacock or something. Like I watched it on an app that was not Amazon, but I
You
could
could
be wrong.
you could have watched it on YouTube, Roku channel, Paramount Plus.
Yeah, Paramount Plus is where I watched it.
Paramount Plus. Okay,
Because
yeah.
because maybe the plan changed, but at some point Showtime was going to make it. There's going to be a movie, and then it went from being a movie to being a TV show, and then a TV show. They got the aesthetics right. I'm telling you, like
Yeah.
even the CG was good. The aesthetics were right. When they did go into battle, that was phenomenal. Like he was the Master Chief, but they veered so far in the story. I don't know where they're going. I didn't like the way they ended that season because I honestly don't know. Like I'm cool with you changing stuff up. Like even like The Last of Us has had an episode that veered off where they did their own thing with some characters. But I just don't know what to do with Halo. Like Halo just ended really weird. So I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know where that's going.
But with The Last of Us, and I haven't watched it. This is one of my coworkers telling me
Yeah.
that episode where they veered off was like week 3, but then they came back last week. Like they
Yes.
came back
Yeah.
to the material, the source material. So
Yeah. Yeah. And they had an episode on Friday because they didn't want to compete with the Super Bowl. So episode 5 debuted Friday. And it was real good. So, but I know you're not a fan of so the post apocalypse.
Skynet will bring it to us soon enough. I don't
Yeah, I
need
was gonna
to.
say we're almost there though. Like you very this is research material we're getting into now. Like I'm ahead of the what the future will bring us. I'm prepped.
You could be onto something there. Yeah. Or maybe AI is just teaching us the wrong stuff. You know what I mean? To try to
Right. So
get that
it
upper
can
hand.
hit us with the okey doke. Speaking of AI, man, like this wild out there. Like so I've messed a little bit with chat GPT. It's pretty cool. But did you so what's going on with Google's version? Was it Google Bard? Have
I
you
haven't
heard
heard
about that?
I haven't heard that one, no.
Yeah, so I'm coming in ignorant, but for a little bit of reading I did, they try to showcase it to demonstrate what it can do, but it kind of rushed it out the door, and it was not on par with Chat GPT. So their stock didn't tank, but it dipped after they did a showcase of their solution to AI. Um, I don't know, man. Like I don't know where we're going with it. Like I'm extremely excited by it, but then there's that little bit of a fear involved because it could be weaponized, right? Like it's supposed to be on guardrails and have parameters, but not only can you use it to cheat on tests stuff like that. I don't really care about. Like we'll find a solution to vet that stuff properly. There'll be a signature when you get something that's produced by Chat GPT that you could probably throw into an engine and they'd be like, yeah, this 100% this was made by AI. But it's getting weird with uh, just how they're doing modeling and stuff like that. Like, so it's not Chat GPT, but AI in general. Like AI art is starting to replace human art, which is kind of weird. So that's going to also potentially impact people's jobs. But then AI models. So I don't know if you heard about this, but like they're making like photo shoots and stuff like that generated by AI. So they're not even using models anymore. They're just making up fake people. And then who gets the credit for that? And like, does that negate somebody's job? Like, does somebody lose an advertisement spot? Like, I don't know. Let's say like a Chick-fil-A ad with like a little girl in it. That might not be a real little girl. It might be a AI generated girl in the photo now. It's crazy.
Which makes them save money, right? Like if they're not paying an actor or actress, right? Like
Yeah.
they save money just saying, hey, here's what we're gonna pay for the likeness of, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. And then I showed you the the one article that showed just a nightmare AI where it doesn't always get it quite right. So sometimes the photos of people it generates have too many teeth or too many fingers.
fingers, yeah. Yeah.
It's so weird. But once they tighten it down, right? Like none of those people were real. I would have believed that some of those people were real.
You
So
want to know
they,
something? You want to know something crazy? I was right along there with you, right? Like I was like, I showed it to my wife. When you sent it to me, I
yeah,
showed it to my wife, and I was like, "Tell me which one of these are real." And she was like, "Are any of them real?" I was like,
that's
"Huh."
crazy.
I was
She's a
like,
human lie detector.
or she is AI. Like it's
She
just
is.
all these years.
You're living in a simulation.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? Are you a fembot? Like, what is going on here? I never. So all my children were C-sections, so I never saw what was actually going on the other side of that curtain. Right, I stayed up by her head, so I
Right,
don't.
right.
It could have been they were pulling out robotics, right, or they were building a robot on the other end. Like, ah, here's your baby. You know what I mean? I've worked the whole time. I've worked the whole time we've been married, so they could have just been upgrading this bot as I went to home. There's a
Right.
TV.
When you left
House.
the house.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
But that is crazy that she could pick it out though. Like I guess it's probably the uncanny. Like some people don't like that. Like when they see like a video game character or something that's procedurally generated, or not even procedure, I guess it would be generated on purpose, to look human, but it's not quite human. Like she might have that in her innate, like that's off.
She very much so. And here's the thing: it could just be me, right? Like the whole thing when like people we know, she'll say, "Oh, they lost weight or they put on weight or whatever," and I'm like, I don't really notice. You know what I mean? Like maybe
Gotcha.
I just don't pay. I think I pay close enough attention to things that matter, but stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know, don't matter to me. You know what I mean? Like
Right, right.
it would have to be a significant amount one way or the other for me to be like, oh yeah, they did lose weight or they did gain weight.
Gotcha.
I mean, but yeah,
But you crazy with the numbers though. Like you remember numbers out of this world.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Remember one time we were talking about something, I forget what we were talking about, but you rattled off my plate number, and I was like, "How? I don't even know my plate number. How do you know my license plate number?" I was like, "This is
Yeah,
random."
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, but we're way off topic.
I'm not a machine, Ryan. It's
Maybe you're AI. I haven't seen you in years. This whole conversation's generated.
But I will tell you, I will not stand up. I will not show you anything.
Right.
From this
They haven't. That hasn't been created yet.
Yeah.
the lower part of your torso has not been generated yet. But yeah, no, it's getting crazy out here, man. Like I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. Like I'm excited by it because I think AI utilized as a tool will just make us even better, even quicker. Just get rid of dumb processes and things that we'll no longer need to do. However, there's a lot of jobs that AI would be great for. I'm just like, because everybody can't skill up or they can't go lateral, right? Some people that is going to be their career, and then AI might step in and be like, "No, this is my career. Like I'm the captain now." So that part is kind of scary, but we'll see. Because I think it'll always need human interaction, right? There always have to be human guidance with these things. So hopefully it remains that way. But I mean, it's like some of the stuff that Chat GPT has demonstrated is pretty remarkable. Like, so
Very.
I'm like,
The end is nigh for sure, right? Like, like I don't know, man. Some of the stuff I'm seeing, I'm like, I think it's fake when I see it. I'm like, that is not
right,
what they are saying it is. It did not say that. It did not do that. Like, maybe because I just don't want to believe, right?
right, right. I see what you're saying. I don't know. I can see a future. Like what? There was a book I read. I think it was Player Piano. I want to say where they had to come up with kind of like a universal wage because robotics had replaced humans. So like people couldn't work in factories and things of that nature because robotics was just that much more efficient. So companies had to start paying people to not work because they still have to eat. So we replaced you, but now we have to still pay you. And the wage was not good enough or something like that. I forget. I read it a long time ago, but it is a dystopic book, right? Like so things go off the rails at some point. But yeah, the factories were all machine driven in the book. So factory workers got to still got to get paid. So that might be Microsoft's future, paying people that it replaced with AI. We will see. We'll see how that goes. But back on topic. Where was I going with this?
Oh, okay. So watch the Battle of the Super Sons, Poker Face. Let's get to Poker Face.
There it is. Yes.
So
Um,
I couldn't even get through this last episode. Like I was falling asleep.
which episode are you on? It's because only six.
Yeah, it's the sixth one. So with the
Oh, you're on the sixth one.
putting
Okay.
on the play, like
Yes. So I'm
I
there. I just started the sixth one.
yeah, I got to the end of it, but like I was nodding off. Like I was just like,
Mm,
and the thing is, I don't know how they are getting all these like celebrities to do this, right?
right.
Ellen
Right.
Barkin, Tim Meadows, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, these people are like well-known actors and actresses. Like, what's going on here? But
Yeah.
yeah, I cannot get into it anymore, man. Like the first episode, if it would have stayed like how the first episode was all the way through, I'd have been
Right.
like, okay, yeah, but like it's so much less,
Less
of
detective.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm seeing the same thing. Like now it's more of the murder is 80% of the show and then only the 20%. And she's kind of rushing through the explanations. Like, how'd you get there? Like you didn't take your time to get there. You're just making these big leaps and explain how this went down. Because the last episode was the one in the old folks home or the assisted living facility.
Yep.
And that one was just a whole lot of story, which I appreciate. But then like the detective was just like boop, 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 done. Like, how'd
Yeah.
you get there?
It's not what it was. And and like you said, man, we were talking about it before. You're like, yeah, I think she's a jinx. Yeah, everywhere she goes, somebody ends up dead.
Everywhere she goes,
Like,
there's a murder.
yes.
How? Like, just you arrive there a day or two before it happens. Like, what are you doing? And two of them, I think she set up and inadvertently, right? Like the Staplehead one.
Yeah.
Like she had not intervened, that would not have happened. And there was another one that she talked to a person, and that person wound up saying something or doing something that got them murdered. I can't remember which one that was because it wasn't. It wasn't.
That was the barbecue guy, wasn't it?
Yes, the barbecue guy. Like she made him change his ways by introducing him to the movies, and then he gets murdered. Like you are helping,
Yeah.
or not helping.
Yep.
And then she's not getting no PTSD from all this murder around her. Like people just keep getting offed.
Yeah, she should definitely like go and like seclude herself, but she got to make money, right? That's what it is. Like she's just going across the country,
Right.
doing these odd jobs and whatnot to make money that she's terrible at. Like she's not good at
Yes.
any of the jobs.
Any of them.
Yeah. I don't know. I may go back and watch this last episode again, maybe because again it was late at night too, right? So I could have just been tired from the day we had, but I may go back and watch it, but I'm not really. It's not to where like I think I need to see that some more.
Right. I kind of want to see where it ends because I want to see where season 2 would pick up at. Like at some point she has to work for like the law enforcement. Like there's no way she can keep doing what she's doing. Like at some point
I think she'll be a PI. I think she'll be a PI. I think it'll be more of a. I don't think she'll work for law enforcement because she's not a fan of police, right?
Yeah.
She's not a fan of them. Like she dips out before they show up, type thing. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm gonna call back and make sure this happens, right? Like, hey, does anybody know who this trucker was? Like, have them call this in, and I'm out of here. You know what I mean? But
and she never has a plan. Like when she's foiling their plan, she never has a plan to escape. So they try to kill her every time.
She should be dead every single time. Yeah.
Every time they try to kill her. Like you should already know where this is going. Like especially when the assisted living facility, like she put herself in a no exit situation.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. If they keep going down this road, like
You're out. And I wouldn't be mad at you about that because it's less like before it was 80-20, or I would say 60-40 detective. Now it's like 80-20 story.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I find myself taken away from like knowing the route that they're going because they'll show how something happens, and then when they go through, they kind of replay through the same scene, but then they show you where she was at in the sequence that you
right, exactly.
So now I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, is she that person? Is she that person? Is
she around in some regard?
Where is she at? Yeah. I mean, she's always around. You just got to figure out where she was in the whole thing. And it's like, now I'm just like, okay, she is in the most menial job at wherever this place is to where she could be, right? She's a waitress, custodian, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. Let me not say menial job, but one that's overlooked, often overlooked.
Right, where she could be somewhere nearby.
Right. So yeah, I don't know, man. I just we'll see. Do you know how many episodes it's supposed to be? Like, I haven't looked
Just
at
six.
IMDb.
It's just six, unless it's doing like a mid-season
Break.
um break or something like that. There's only six on did I catch up maybe? Did I catch up and that's why it's six?
Well, no,
But
I
I
know
don't think
it was
so.
six,
Because I looked a couple
like,
weeks ago and it was six.
but on IMDb they'll usually show you how many you're supposed to be per season, right?
I see what you're
So
saying.
like
Right.
7 through 10 won't have titles or casts or anything like that. You know what I mean? Or maybe
Yeah.
main character cast, but like I don't know how many they plan on doing for a season, but if it's over 6, I probably will not continue.
Right.
So that's what it is. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes of that. But that's pretty much it, man. Like I said, I haven't been taking in too much media of any type. So
Gotcha.
yeah. About you?
So yeah, so I watched Poker Face. I'm gonna finish that one today. The Last of Us. Still A plus, A plus on the show. I know it's not for you, but it's for the like every episode. I am thoroughly impressed. I'm like, yeah, they nailed it. Or because you know how HBO does the after, like you watch the show and then they'll talk to the directors or producers or whatever. They always go into why they changed something. Because again, I'm going off for 10 years of memory. So some stuff that they make minor tweaks, I won't catch it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably the way it went down in the game. But other times they make pretty significant changes, and then they'll explain why they made that change. And the co-director of the game is a producer on the show, so they'll go to him and he'll talk about why he did it in the game and why he was like he's always cool with the change. Like if anything, I feel like um he's a fan and of the source material, but I think he wants to jump to movies. Like all of his games have been movie like, right? So he co-directed Uncharted, he co-directed or produced, co-directed and produced Uncharted, and then he moved over, like Naughty Dog moved over to doing the Last of Us series, and then he was the co-director of that. The other dude, Bruce Straley, is the other co-director. He left Sony a few years back. He gets no credits. Like they don't put his name on anything, which is a whole meta story in itself. Like what happened for that to go down the way it is, because it'll say the show usually say like um
Based on
produced or
material
directed or
provided.
yeah based
Oh,
on yeah, and they always put um not Bruce Straley, who's the other guy, Neil Druckmann. So they always put Neil Druckmann on it, but they don't put Bruce Straley. And Bruce Straley, they had him, I think it was Forbes or somewhere else, they interviewed him to talk about it, and he said there may be a case for unionization in video games to stop this from happening. He was like, I was the co-director, I get no credits whatsoever. um so is that because somebody doesn't want to pay him, or because he would be entitled to something? Like, who's to say? But I went down a rabbit hole there. But um, Neil Druckmann always has a positive spin on the changes, and then they talk to I forget the dude's first name, but his last name is Mason. He's the director who really liked The Last of Us and wanted to adapt it. Yeah, adapt it. So then they talk about how they play off of each other, like certain things in games due to context and you playing for hours can't be produced or make sense in film. So this is why we have to make these leaps or these changes. And the two of them mesh really well together. So I think Neil Druckmann is going to move on to produce TV shows and movies sometime in the future.
could just be he likes money. Right.
That's also
Could
true.
be what it is.
That's also because so The Last of Us, the game is spiked again, even though it's been remastered and remade, and like they just keep releasing it, right? But yeah, spiked again. Like the show is pulling people to play the game who never played the game before, or to revisit the game because it is a decade old now. So it all feeds off each other. That's what I'm saying. Like Microsoft is going to have to get on Sony's level in this regard, um, only because they're able to use their IPs in multiple ways to generate more money, more capital, because they feed off each other. So like not only do they have the Uncharted movies now, they can keep doing that. They have the Last of Us TV series, which will at least get another season, which just continues to crush numbers on the show. And now people are going back to play the game. But then they have a God of War project. I think that's going to be Amazon, and then they have a Horizon project coming down the pipe as well. I can't remember if that's Amazon or Netflix, but
Is the
they're
God of is the God of War one confirmed?
yes, I don't
Really?
know when it starts to film or whatever, but yeah, it's confirmed.
So I know when I was playing the game, like, on PlayStation, when it comes up, they'll show you different videos and whatnot. Like, it was
Yeah.
talked about, but I didn't think it was a confirmed thing that was going forward. Because
Mhm.
the actor that plays Kratos was like, I would love to do that. You know what I mean? Like, he was talking as if, hey, I would like for this to go forward. I can't
Yeah.
remember the guy's name, but
Yeah, the big dude from Stargate. I forget his name too.
yeah. But yeah,
Um,
he was like, I would love to go forward and do something like that. You know what I mean? So granted,
right.
like, this was back in November when the game came out. The video was probably early January time frame when I saw it. Like, I was turning it on to play it, and it was just like these different videos that were showing up on
Yeah.
PlayStation. I was like, let me watch some of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that to my knowledge, because they keep talking about it. So it's I don't know when it's going to start filming, but it's a project that's definitely going to be adopted to the small screen. So like they're repurposing their IPs like crazy. And Microsoft's gonna have to do the same thing. It can't just be Halo, right? But Microsoft now has like I can't remember how many studios because all the acquisitions. On top of they have the big one coming down right now, the Blizzard Activision King acquisition. That's in it's being disputed right now because what is it the FTC? So I know CMA, FTC, and then there's another body who are all have it has to go through them to make sure it's not a uh
Monopoly of some type.
monopoly,
It
yeah,
is,
some
it is,
type. So
it is
it's
FTC, Federal Trade Commission, right?
yeah, so the
Something like
FTC
that.
is involved as well. So like they're currently going through those widgets. So hopefully by mid-April it goes down and it's finalized. But the big contention is because they would acquire Call of Duty. Microsoft's like that's the smallest piece of this pie. Like Call of Duty sells very well. Don't get me wrong, but the you should be more concerned about the mobile stuff. Like we're like King makes all of the mobile games. Like anything that's good on mobile, they make it. So and then they're getting Blizzard. So Blizzard makes like World of Warcraft and other games like that. Like, but you're concerned about Call of Duty is what Sony's concerned about.
World of Warcraft already has a movie out there, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how well that did. Oh, I think terribly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
But
either.
they have so many different IPs they could pull from, right? Like, because they'll if this merger goes through, they'll have um man, it's now it's escaped me. They'll have Fallout, so they can do any of the Fallout material. They'll have obviously they have the already have Gears is their IP that they own, even though who made it? Like so, the Coalition's over it now. That's a studio internal to them, but it used to be made by the dudes who made Fortnite in the Unreal Engine. Who was that? Oh man, it's gonna kill me. Somebody screaming at the TV right now. Um, but they made the game, but Microsoft bought the IP, so they have that. They have Fable. They have
Epic.
Epic. Yeah, so Epic made the original Gears of War, but now it's owned by Microsoft, and they make it internally. Their internal studio called the Coalition. Obviously, they have Halo. Man, it's so many. They'll get Diablo, so that'll be under their belt as well. They'll get um, just a ton of IP. So they got to start pushing these things out to generate capital and to push people back to the games, to push people to the material, to push people back to the games, so on and so forth.
So let me ask you this: do you think the games or the movies or TV series, whichever route they decide to go, which one do you think would be more profitable for them, though, to
So
continue,
I think it'd be the games because you're paying $70 a pop, right?
or
Um,
or subscribing
to Game Pass, yeah,
Pass, right? Yeah.
yeah. So I would think that would be the money maker. But how do you get new people to invest? Usually you have to go find them, right? So these projects are kind of really good marketing and advertising to bring new people into the fold. Because especially with like a Last of Us is being 10 years old, there's 20-year-olds who didn't experience it, right? So it's like bringing them into the fold as well. Like, oh, I heard of the game, but I never played it. Old timey game.
They did this on an Xbox One. What? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
come think. So I wasn't even 30 yet when that game came. I was 29 when that game came out. That's crazy. I'm over here about to be over the hill. Like back in my day.
I walked 15 miles to school.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. But yeah, they have so many IP, they're gonna have to do something with them on the small or big screen, just like Sony's currently doing.
I don't know. I mean, depending on what it is, like some of these movies to make are relatively cheap, right? Like if you're going to
Yeah,
do a movie about people firing off guns, like we've been doing that for so long, like squibs are cheap, right? To
yeah,
make a wall blow up, or make bullet holes in a wall, that's cheap, right? But when it comes to different aliens and craft and CGI, that's where it gets expensive,
yeah.
and so it depends. But I'm with you though. I think the games are what's going to make them more money, right?
Right.
Um, like you said, games are $70 a pop now if you decide to buy them, right? Like you only, and the thing is, they don't even have to put out a physical media anymore, right? Like you can just download it directly to your hard
Yeah.
drive now. So you're paying $70 to download something on a server that's bought and paid for and is already paid for itself that you can
Mhm.
pull it from. They don't have to print out the disc, the case, ship it, do all of that stuff. So it's just more money in hand for them that just stays in
Yeah.
the house.
No, that's very true. Oh, that's what I was thinking about. Elder Scrolls. So they have Elder Scrolls, and they'll have because that's big. They'll have the new stuff, the Starfields. Like there's so many IP to pull from. Like just give this one to Amazon, give this one to Netflix, give this one to so on and so forth. Like how these people build out your cinematic universe. But
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go over. I don't know. We'll see, right? Once it all gets finalized, it might be one of those things where they do a drop like the next week. Like, okay, here's our plan that we've been working on for the last 6 months since we knew we were going to acquire it.
right, right,
It's going to come out in 2 years, a year after that, year after that.
yeah, and they definitely have the cap the I can't say that word today capital.
Capital.
There you go to make that happen. Right, they have plenty of seed money. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, it could not go in their favor. The acquisition could not take place, or they could have to spin out franchises, kind of like how when Fox was acquired by Disney, they had to spin out Fox News. So maybe Call of Duty gets spun out to be its own company, which like they were trying to make a cinematic universe themselves. Like Call of Duty was trying to make movies and TV shows to go along with their shooter. So who's to say that that can be profitable in itself. But I'm pretty sure Microsoft wants all of it, right? If I'm going to invest billions of dollars on this acquisition, I want all of my IPs to be under my umbrella. That's what Sony does not want. So we will see. We'll see what happens with that.
So let
You
me
about
ask
to
you
say?
this. Let me ask you this. Off topic of that. So Ant-Man and the Wasp is coming out like the end of this week, right?
Yep.
So, curiosity. How excited are you to see it?
Uh, mid excited. Like so, it has the recipe to be great, right? It's got characters I care about who actually have impact on the going forward. I got Anthony Majors. He's going to be Kang. That's going to be great. I don't want to go to the theaters. I now that the world is open again, outside is open. I don't want to go back. I like for things to come to the house. Like when I went to see Wakanda Forever, I went way after initial release. Like I went when we went there and there was like maybe 20 people in the whole theater. So like everybody's gonna go crazy, gonna go day one. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going on Friday. Not gonna happen.
I hear you. There was a couple times where I told myself I was going to wait, but I just brought up my app and looked at it and was like, man, there's some good seats still available. I was like, let me see if the boys
Right.
want to go.
And you
Right?
see what AMC is doing with seats potentially?
Yes, yes,
They're gonna kill themselves. They're going to
yes.
or I can't say can you say kill? Unalive themselves.
That's going to
Like,
draw a lot of people away. Like if you're paying I have to pay for the preference of what you consider premium seating. Like, nah,
yeah.
like that's nah,
Yeah,
not.
I don't get it. I don't know. I get that they have to make money back because like things were very rough for them during the pandemic. But I got spoiled. I like for things to just come home. Like I'm gonna continue to buy bigger and bigger TVs and sound bars and speakers. Just bring that, give it to me for premium. I'll pay $30 to watch at the crib. I'll do that all day.
Disney made a little bit of money doing that, right? They did it with was it Jungle Cruise and Black Widow?
Yeah.
Were two of them that they did it? They did it with more than that, actually. I think was it the 101 Dalmatians one too? Cruella? I think they
Yeah,
did it.
there's a few of them. But yeah, that's Scarlett Johansson about the Black Widow. She did not like that.
Yeah,
It
but
was
she was
messing with her. It's playing with her money.
yeah, but they had to make up for it in the end. They had to pay her an extra 40 million or whatever it was.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
Whatever.
she got the bag at the end, but she was not happy about that. But I was.
Yeah.
I watched
So
that at the house.
I did too. I did too. I paid the $30 and watched it. I liked it. Um, so here's why I asked you that, right? So I saw the first trailer, I was excited, right?
Yeah.
I saw the second trailer, I was excited. Then I started seeing clips, like there were little clips of stuff. And
Yeah.
the first one I saw, still excited, right? Because like Kang is talking to him and he's like, which Avenger are you? He's like, I've killed so many, is what he said.
Right.
Ooh, I was like, ooh. He's like, are you the one with the hammer? That's what he said to him. Are you the one? Like he didn't even acknowledge like who he was or anything like that. And then I started seeing other clips and I was like, man, is this gonna be one of those things where I am seeing all the good stuff?
Oh yeah, they're giving you all the good stuff. I don't think so. I don't think so.
So
Like, so I've only.
I kind of felt like that. I kind of felt like that with Doctor Strange, though. It's like with Doctor
Oh
Strange,
yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
like, man, I no, like,
But so I stopped watching stuff. Like, so after you give me the original, like I didn't watch another Wakanda Forever trailer past the very first one. I was like, yep, done. So, and I tuned out. So I watched two trailers for Ant-Man and the Wasp 3. But yeah, I cut out the media quickly. So it could be that because I think it was it the last Thor? Too many trailers. Same thing. I saw all the good stuff in the trailers, and I was like, "Yep, never gonna do that again." So that I've just cut back.
yeah, Love and Thunder was another one. I was going to be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
there
I
it is. Yeah,
don't
Love
know,
and Thunder.
man.
They
I was,
showed you everything.
yeah, I was not thrilled with it. So I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm probably gonna start doing what you do. I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll watch it. I'll do this, and then. But if I know,
Yeah,
I don't want to be disappointed. Like I don't want to spend the money, right? Because especially if I'm gonna have preferred seating now, right? And now, like if I'm gonna pay the prices I'm paying now, and then an extra $3 for me to sit in the middle, like
yeah,
I don't know. Like I'm not gonna do that times 5 or whatever it is.
right.
Right? So yeah, I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't think it's a good idea. Hopefully, it's something that dies off pretty quick. Because it's they're not going to bring these movies back to day one home streaming. It's not going to happen. Like they put their foot down. But now it's the opposite. Like now you're gonna try to charge me more to go see it, as opposed to like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to pay you extra.
Yeah, AMC is not. They're not going to do well for this, right? Like, and I don't know when it's going to implement. I read the article, but I don't know when they plan on implementing it. Or is it in beta in some places somewhere? Or are they already testing
Yeah,
it?
I just heard about it, so I don't think it's in use. I guess I could find out when I go look for tickets to Ant-Man and Wasp. Like, even though I'm probably not going to see it on release weekend, maybe I should though. Cause I'll start getting busy in a couple weeks.
I don't know.
It's too many people.
I
It's
hear
just
you.
so many people.
I hear you.
Like, I'm not afraid to catch anything. Like right now is cold flu COVID season, right? Like all this stuff's currently happening. That's not the thing. It's the I've not had to. I haven't had to go to a crowded theater in 2 years. 2 years. So I'm not trying to go back there.
No, I definitely get that. I definitely get that. You got to worry about other people too, right? Like whether or not they're talking or doing
Picking
whatever.
your seat or talking or fumbling with the wrapper.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like eat the candy. Like, get it out. Jeez Louise. Yeah.
Bathroom breaks, they got to cut through you because they picked the middle seat. So now they got to scoot through you to get around you. Like, no, man. Like, let me just charge me $30 and watch at the house.
Mm.
That's it. That's all I need. They're like, oh, we're not getting like it because I'm big into sound and video, but I never like the screen is never as sharp as my TV. Like I don't know if it's me or what. Like it never feels better. Like it just feels larger. But sound wise, yes. Like yeah, you crush me on the sound. You got like 11.16 in here. Like I can't compete with that. People whispering behind me. You feel the rumble, like you go to 4D joints, you got like the rumble underneath your seats and stuff like that. I cannot compete with that. But I the I think it's what is it when something you get less value as something gets bigger. I forget what the term is called. It'll come back to me. I keep saying that. Nothing came back to me this whole episode. But it feels as though I'm not getting the biggest bang for my buck. There's a sweet spot when it comes to screen size.
Return on
And
investment. Is that what you're trying to think of?
now return on investment. Oh man, depreciation. Something about depreciation. I can't remember what the term is, but I'm not getting like the screen is big, that's great, but it does not necessarily cleaner or clearer. Like I believe my 4K or in the future my 8K at the distance that it's at is sharper and looks better than this 100 and I don't know, what is it, like 220-inch screen or whatever? Just feels grainy. But
At
I
a
could have also been
at a
going to
theater,
really,
it's really
really,
large at a theater. It's
yeah, I
way
might have been going to a really garbage theater though for like the past 2 years. Like maybe they didn't upgrade their equipment or something because it didn't look as
have you
good.
have you been sitting too close, maybe? Because I don't get that.
No, I'm right in the middle. I'm right in the middle. Middle back. Never right in the front, never right in the back. Like right in the center is the sweet spot. But again, like maybe my theater didn't upgrade their projectors or whatever. But because when I went, what did I go? I went and saw Wakanda Forever in theater weeks after, and it looked okay. Sounded phenomenal, but it just looked okay.
I think it's because you are such an audio and video file, though, that maybe you pick up on those things. Like I do have a good experience when I go to theaters, but I'm like usually in the back in the center, right? Like so.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody sneezing their popcorn down on my neck or anything like that. So I try to
Right.
get into the back because apparently people don't know how to cover their mouths anymore. It's freaking ridiculous.
I forgot because they've been sneezing with their mouth open at the house
I
for
don't know,
3 years.
but I'm just like one of my coworkers. I was talking to him the other day, and he was like, "I always get sick," because he's kind of short. He's like, "I always get sick because people stand too close to me, and then they sneeze down on me without covering their mouth." I'm like, "Oh, are you serious?" He's like, it never fails." I'm like, "Oh,
Should
man."
uppercut them. Wow, right in the jaw. Like just how you can't cover your mouth, it's a reflex. I can't cover my uppercuts.
You catch all these paws.
Because I mean it's almost akin to assault now, right? Because you could literally get sick and die. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's
that's
still a
true.
possibility.
Yeah.
That's why I uppercut people. No, I was playing. I
Well,
want to go
well
to jail.
I know this. When we have our next one, I may or may not have already watched it, and I'll give my review on it. But
Gotcha.
I'm getting a little skeptical from all of the trailers that I'm seeing. I'm just like,
Gotcha.
because
If
like I said, the action parts are ones I've already seen in the trailer, and then there's like
yeah,
a lot of speaking, and I'm like, how I am, right? If you Marvel or DC, throw some punches, throw some hands, you know what I mean?
put some
Throw,
hands in there real quick.
throw some hammers, some axes, throw something, you know what I mean? Do something.
Yeah. So if the kids convince me, I'll go see it. But if I don't get a lot of push, I'll wait a couple weeks just so it starts to taper off. Because it's it's not only Valentine's Day, like, but it's also released. Like it's gonna be a bunch of people in there. It's gonna be crowded. I don't know. It's gonna take a lot of convincing. But before we go, real quick, who you got for the Super Bowl? Who's winning?
Man, I hate to do this because I know people on both sides. I know Kansas City Chiefs fans, I know Eagles fans, but I think it will be the Eagles because they have more chances they can win. They can win through the run game, they can win through defense, right? Um, I just think it'll be other things like Patrick Mahomes. I think the Chiefs can pull it out if he plays perfect, but with that high ankle sprain, I don't know,
Yeah,
right? Like, is he going to be 100%? Is he going to be able to do what he was doing before? He's had 2 weeks to heal, right? So,
yeah. I'm saying this been somebody rubbing on his. Like how many hours is that? Like
yeah,
24/7 for 2 weeks straight.
yeah,
Somebody been rubbing his
yeah,
ankle sprain.
yeah, yeah.
They just keep switching people out.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, like, I don't know. I don't know if the stage is going to be too big for Jalen Hurts, right? But again, if Jalen Hurts isn't perfect for the Eagles, they can still win with the run game. They can still win. Like their defense can get a strip sack, right?
Yeah,
Put them in better field position. Like different things like that can happen. But man, I'm gonna say the Eagles, but Kansas City. It would not surprise me to go to Kansas City's way.
gotcha. So yeah, I'm going Eagles as well. Like I hope they both lose, but um, Philadelphia better hurry up and grease those poles down if they have not already. Grease the cars down too, because last time they won, they flipped several cars over. Win, lose, or draw, it's gonna be crazy in Philadelphia. But no, I just think his he's not gonna be at peak performance. Because if anything, like I don't know, like maybe because sometimes when things heal, they get worse before they get better. So like he might be at the apex of it being achy and painful, right? Can he get over that and get into the game? Because it's going to, I think for them to win, it's going to require him to be very mobile And if he's stiff, it's over. It's a wrap.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
But we don't know, right? He might get out there and look like Lamar Jackson or something. But like, where did this come from? Like,
He's
he was
like
never this
juice.
guy.
They
Yeah.
juice that man up. He is not human at that point. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll come back next week, and probably talk about what happened. But yeah, man, it's a great episode. Thank you for sticking through us talking about things. Me not remembering return on. Yeah, it's not return on investment. What is it? Me not being able to remember things. Definitely continue to tune in, leave your feedback. We appreciate it. Leave us some feedback about the intro, what you think about that, and then keep tuning in. We'll be back next week.
Diminishing
Tuesday.
results. Diminishing.
There it is. Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I cut you off in there.
No, you good.
I was like, what is, I've been thinking about it since you said it. I was like, what is he trying to say?
Man,
Like,
yes. I think that the screen at some point gets like, because I want a theater in my home. Like if I can swing that, definitely. I just don't think it's like that screen is just never going to be as sharp as my TV. I just have to buy bigger and bigger TVs. There it is. Like now you said it, I have to do it.
Oh no. Hey,
I have to get bigger TVs.
do not let your wife watch this episode. I do not want that to happen though.
I gotta get that 85, that 90 if it exists, 100 100 inch screen. But definitely continue to tune in. Appreciate you guys listening. Hit us up on all the websites to go by our name. You give me a person, I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Clubhouse. Stay safe, stay secure.